How's it going, guys? I just realized that I missed two stories in today's episode. One of them being Dwight Howard signed a 3-year, $70.5 million contract uh, with the Atlanta Hawks because he wants to win a championship. Yes, and the other one is Tim Duncan has retired after 19 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs. With the Spurs, he won 5 titles and made the playoffs every one of those 19 years. Um, so yeah, on to the video.
How's it going, guys? It's your guy Alpha, and welcome to my new setup. I got some Bobby Orr over here and Sammy Watkins over here. Just finished this setup today. This is at my cottage, so this isn't actually my home setup, but I have yet to see what my home setup is. But at any rate, welcome to my sports show. This is the weekly show where I talk about sports. Now, before I get into it, I'm going to say that I'm sorry for the families that have been affected by the recent police and black shootings. And but the good thing is that we are here talking about sports. Cause that's what I do. That's my purpose, to make you happy by talking about sports. So let's get right into it. Also, this will be a longer episode because it's been 2 weeks since I last did a video. Um, as I said in the last episode, go check that video out. And so yeah, this is gonna be a 2 week special, I suppose. So let's get right into it. In CFL news, the Toronto Argonauts get back on board with a win against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 30-17. Ricky Ray stepped up a little bit by throwing 2 touchdowns, which is a good thing, but the special team did most of the work for the Argonauts. The Ottawa Redblacks beat the Montreal Alouettes 28-13 with another epic performance from Trevor Harris. He really is the man for the job. He threw 3 touchdowns and hit a whole bunch of deep balls for 395 yards on 20 of 26 throws. It was epic. To the Grey Cup, they go! The BC Lions beat the Hamilton Ticats 28-3. Now, when I say beat, I mean complete with joy. I went to that game, as you can see from the footage before, and I was rooting for Hamilton. That was a big mistake, because Hamilton was terrible on all sides of the ball. Those 3 points were all from missed field goals because in the CFL, if you kick the ball into the end zone, you get a point. 1 point. A major factor in that game was the insane wind. I mean, insane. Like, I had to make sure my hat was on tight enough so it wouldn't blow away. And across the field, there was garbage everywhere from people not paying attention. So that played a major factor in the game, considering there was only one field goal and like 2 conversions made in the entire game. The Toronto Argonauts quarterback Ricky Ray had officially passed the 53,000-yard mark in his career in his win against the BC Lions 25-14. He is the fifth quarterback to complete this feat in CFL history. The Hamilton Ticats continued their losing streak in a loss to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Although it was a close game at 28-24, it was their loss. But don't worry, Ticat fans, Cloud's coming back soon. You can all just settle down a little bit. The Calgary Stampeders tied with the Ottawa Redblacks at 26. This is such a rarity in football that I'm kind of shocked. I'd only ever seen it like twice in my lifetime, and that's in the NFL. I've never seen it in the CFL. On to the NBA news. LeBron James is the biggest free agent now that DeMar DeRozan signed an extension with the Raptors, Dwayne Wade went to the Bulls, and Kevin Durant signed with the Warriors. Sources say that LeBron James is likely to sign another contract with Cleveland, but because Cleveland has a very small cap base as far as that goes, they will only be able to pay $3 to $4 million more than his original $24 million contract. DeMar DeRozan signed a $139 million extension with the Toronto Raptors over 5 years. This is fantastic because DeRozan has been a key part the Raptors ever since he was drafted. But it's also insane because considering that Andrew Luck, who you'll see the story later on, he just signed a $140 million contract, which is the most anyone has ever been paid, especially given it's only a 5-year contract, I believe. You will see later. But this is just like it's basketball, and no one's batting an eye. Kevin Durant just made a huge move by signing with the Golden State Warriors for a $54.3 million contract over 2 years. Dwayne Wade has signed a deal with the Chicago Bulls worth $47 million over 2 years. Dwayne said himself that this was an extremely tough decision. He was also born in Chicago, though, so that adds into the decision as well. But Wade goes to a team that has lost a lot of players, including Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. But they still have Rajon Rondo and Jimmy Butler. Earlier this year, Derrick Rose went to the New York Knicks. Now Joakim Noah, from the Chicago Bulls as well, has now joined him. New York has quite the team now, considering they have those players over top of Carmelo Anthony. Pau Gasol, another player from the Bulls, has signed a deal with the Spurs worth $30 million for 2 years. This is surprising because I thought he was going to Toronto, according to Instagram. But, oh well. Al Horford just signed a 4-year deal worth $113 million with the Boston Celtics. The young players at the 2009 NBA champions are very excited for this opportunity. This season is one for the books. Draymond Green, the Golden State Warriors power forward who was suspended in the NBA Finals, has been arrested for assault and battery. I don't know what battery means, but it's a crime, apparently. He might spend 93 days in jail, and he was also selected for the USA national team. Well, I don't see him going, which is good for me, because go Team Canada! In Major League Baseball news, the Cleveland Indians beat the Toronto Blue Jays in a game that never ended. It was a 19-inning game that ended at 2-1 for Cleveland. 19 innings are very close to the record 26 innings. But I'm actually a Jays fan, so this is bad, except for the fact that that was the only game that Cleveland won in that series. So, yay. The MLB All-Star Game is today, early today, and Wednesday. And the Jays players who were selected are Edwin Encarnacion, Josh Donaldson, Michael Estrada, who is inactive, and Michael Saunders. This, my friends, is good. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Detroit Tigers 3-1 in the series just this last week. I was at one of those games, and it was actually quite interesting. They won 5-0. It was good. It was so very good. In Euro Cup news, Portugal beat Poland in a shootout to get to the semifinals, where they then beat Wales 2-0. France beat Iceland 5-1 to move on to the semifinals, where they beat Germany 2-0. Germany beat Italy in a shootout to move on to the semis, where they lost to France 2-0. And Portugal defeated France 1-0 in a double overtime match in the Euro Cup final. This is upsetting because I was cheering for France. I love France. No! This is very disappointing news for me and for Barcelona fans. Lionel Messi, the forward for Barcelona and Argentina, and possibly the best player in the world, is being fined 2 million euros, and his father is being fined 1.5 million euros. They both are sentenced to 21 months of jail due to tax fraud. They won't go to jail though, because in Spain, if you are convicted of a non-violent crime for under 2 years, you do not have to spend time in jail, but instead you can do it on probation. Lionel stated that he had no idea about the tax fraud, as his father was responsible for his money management. This is still very disappointing. He is very famous and influential. He needs to influence me to speak better. That's what he needs to do. In NHL, PK Subban was just recently traded to the Nashville Predators for Shea Weber. This was a breaking story for me because I expected Subban to be a Montreal Canadian for his entire career, or at least even the next 2 years. The other trades, everybody, it's just an art. In Wimbledon news, this is one of the only times I will cover tennis, but I've got to say that it's disappointing that Milos Raonic lost in the Grand Slam finals. He did become the first Canadian to advance to the final, though, so that's good. And here we are at NFL news. Andrew Luck just signed a mega contract extension with the Indianapolis Colts. He's making the most money ever made by anyone in the NFL, with $140 million over 4 years. This brings up the question as to whether or not he's really a franchise player. We'll have to see. The top 10 of the top 100 players of 2016 have been announced, and they are also in the link in the description below. But you know who isn't on that list? Von Miller from Denver. He's the MVP of the most recent Super Bowl because of his ability to stop the number one player on the top 100 players of 2016, Cam Newton, and also the Carolina Panthers run game. This has got some people upset, but the question is, who do you take off the list? That's the thing. With a job like that, you can never make everyone happy. Johnny Manziel got suspended for 4 games for substance abuse. His attorney was right. He was not going to stay clean. Also, that attorney has officially left Manziel's side, so he is so screwed. Orlando McClain, defensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys, has been suspended for 10 games for the same reason as Manziel. The Cowboys are getting tired of Orlando's behavior after only 2 seasons. As of right now, the boys have got 3 defensive players suspended right now, plus also Sean Lee and another rookie who broke his foot during training camp, just coming off of surgery. This is ridiculous. I feel sorry for you fans. Many players are in need of a new contract, as the deadline for the long-term contracts is July 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Some of the biggest names who are trying to sign big contracts are Von Miller, linebacker for the Denver Broncos, and Eric Berry, safety for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's everything I have for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description. There are also a few videos down there from some music videos that I did. No sponsor. But if you like this video, why not hit that like button? And if you're new around here, why not hit that subscribe buttons? It helps me a lot. So thanks again, and as always, this has been your guy Alpha. You've been watching my sports show, and I'll see you next week.